Good morning everybody, this is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. I want to do a book review, and today I'm going to review Sperry Chafer's Systematic Theology. Now this comes in 4 volumes. It's quite a substantial, meaty book, and it is what I would consider to be one of the foundation books of the Dallas Theological Seminary. There may be some slight differences of opinion that people would have at the present time, but in the main it is what I call classic dispensational teaching. Now there are some aspects of the systematic theology that I personally find I don't completely subscribe to. Certainly Sperry Chafer, being a Presbyterian, was a little bit too Calvinistic for my taste, but of that apart, his exposition, especially on the Christian life, and his exposition on the work of the Holy Spirit, is masterly. I would imagine that his teaching on the Holy Spirit and his teaching on the Christian life was probably built upon the foundation of C.I. Scofield's ministry. You see, Sperry Chafer spent many years as the understudy for C.I. Scofield, and travelled with him, had opportunity to have a lot of in-depth personal teaching from him, and I would imagine that where Sperry Chafer brought a treasury to the world was in the subject of the Holy Spirit and in the Christian life, what he would call the spiritual man. So the notes in this particular systematic theology on that subject are priceless. There's another thing in here that's very, very good indeed, and that is Sperry Chafer's understanding of how Israel and the church are related to each other. That is also masterly. That's very, very good indeed. I absolutely highly recommend it. So how much of a change has this made to my life? Well, funnily enough, at a particular point in my life, I found that Sperry Chafer was my teacher. He died many years ago, but he lives on in his writings. And this book, this series of books, the Systematic Theology of Sperry Chafer, was an amazing experience to go through it and to get something of an understanding. One of the great things that he brought to me from his systematic theology was the concept of Israel. Who were they? How did they stand in relation to God? He said at one time, it was his ambition, if he had 10 years, to go through the scriptures and to work out what is the systematic theology of Israel. In my studies, I have discovered that the systematic theology of Israel is discovered and outlined in the Psalms and also in Deuteronomy, in the sermons of Moses in Deuteronomy, but also the Psalms. It's very interesting and sort of ironic to me that the theology of Israel is given to us in verse, and it is to be sung. It's something to be sung. And it's not just systematic theology, but it's theology and it's also prophecy. So what an amazing thing. I'm really quite fascinated that the Old Testament presents these various books. For example, we have the complete book, the complete curriculum, syllabus of how to bring up a young youth under the Old Covenant, and that of course is the book of Proverbs. But we have this amazing book in the Psalms, which is a complete summary of the whole of systematic theology for Israel, and that's what Sperry Chafer's ambition was. And That's absolutely amazing. But do I recommend this book? Yes, I would. There's just the odd little thing amongst it which you think, yeah, that's a little bit too strong for my way of thinking. However, in the main, and pretty well, it is absolutely brilliant. It is exactly a description of what the Bible teaches in its systematic theology. So I absolutely highly recommend it. If you don't have one of these on your bookshelf, get one. It'll cost a pretty penny. They're not cheap to buy, but they're available and they're exceptionally good. Well, God bless you. I look forward to speaking to you next time we do a book review. Bye for now.